Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Shepard and I am the teacher librarian over at the Discovery School.
And I'm Amanda Counts and I'm the librarian here at Hobgood Elementary.
We are very excited to be with you all today to talk to you about one of our favorite things, summer reading. I love talking about summer reading with my students. I always tell them the most important thing you can do to be ready for next school year is to read, and pretty much read whatever you want, right?
Yes, all reading is real reading. Graphic novels, real reading. Comic books, real reading. Fiction, nonfiction. And the most important thing is to read what you are interested in reading, right?
Absolutely. Even if it's just, well, I'm stuck at home and I can only read what I have at home, do it. Read it again, read it out loud, read it to somebody in your house. Any sort of reading is going to benefit you. Audiobooks. Definitely still real reading. And we're going to talk about some electronic sources here in just a second that can help you boost your reading all summer long. Speaking of that, we want to start with one of our favorite places, Linebaugh Library. Linebaugh Library is part of a whole series of libraries in the Rutherford County library system. In fact, the website rclstn.org is the place to go. And as you can see on the screen, if you go up to the top and click on events, what you're going to find there is a link to their summer reading program. The summer reading program at the Rutherford County Library System is called Imagine Your Story. It's very exciting. We love fairy tales. We love those types of books, and it's so cool to see that tied in online. Even if you don't go online or can't go online, you can stop by the library and they will give you a paper packet for the summer reading, and you can do that at home on your own. If you go online here and you click on Imagine Your Story, it will take you to a login screen where you can log in. Each person in your house can actually log in. Even your parents can log in and log their reading minutes. Mm-hmm. So you can keep track of those, and there's little digital prizes and things like that if that's something that you want to do.
And about a week ago, I logged in and I started the summer reading program. And for adults, all you guys have to do is scroll down under grade and you click adult. So I am tracking my minutes online this summer as well. Well, question is, what if I don't have a library card yet, Ms. Shepard?
Well, I heard that there's an option for that.
There is. It is really easy to get an e-card, a Linebaugh Library card online, since we're not really going into the library right now. A really easy way to do that on the library's homepage. It says no library card, no problem. You click there, and then they just need a very basic amount of information just to make sure you're signing up for the right branch. You will put in your email address and you're just going to create your own PIN password. Once you do that and you hit register, you will be able to access lots of online resources. There are so many online resources, we couldn't even get them all into this screenshot. It's almost overwhelming how many things you can get for free online through the Rutherford County Library System. A couple of things I do want to show you guys right here that are my favorites that I personally use a lot. On the left at the bottom, you see book flicks. Those are books that have been made into movies. Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, really cool books like that. And then there's a nonfiction book that is paired with it. Those are really fun to watch, and there's some games that go with them. My other personal favorite that I use to read a lot of my books online is the Read's ebook system. You can read this on the computer, you can read it on your iPhone or Android, you can read it on a tablet. So I check out most of my books that I read through the Read system online, and you can do that with your new online library card. It's super easy. So, Ms. Shepard.
Yes.
We talked about Linebaugh, we talked about all the things that are going on there, but there's other stuff going on too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What else is going on?
Well, for those of you who are looking for a real physical book to hold in your hands, and you're probably disappointed that we cannot quite get into our public libraries right now, we do have some fabulous options. You may not know that at every one of the elementary schools, there's something called a little free library, located somewhere, probably right outside of the front door or somewhere around that part where there's drop off and pick up, and you will probably see this adorable little house bookshelf thing, and it is the little free library for that school. The librarians and the school board members have been working hard to keep those fully stocked for the summer, and you don't need to do anything but show up and pick out a book to read. That's the joy of a little free library. You take one, and you can even leave one if you have books at your house that you have read 100 times. Maybe you've grown out of it and you're ready for it to be donated somewhere else. You can drop those off at the little free library for someone else to enjoy. We love our little free libraries. We use them all year long, and the summer is a great time to go by and see what treasures you can find.
I've been stocking mine. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been stocking mine in front of Hobgood all summer long, and I even had friends reach out to me and say, hey, my kids have finished these books. Can I bring them and put them out there? Yes. You can put books that your kids have finished or that you have finished into any little free library here in Murfreesboro.
Absolutely. And some of you may get magazine subscriptions, maybe like Sports Illustrated Kids or National Geographic, something like that, and you're done with those magazines. We're welcome to put those in our little free libraries as well. Another great thing, some of you may have seen the Chow Bus in your neighborhoods or around your schools. And with the Chow Bus, the SRO officers have been coming around and bringing books with the food with the Chow Buses. So that's an exciting bonus.
Yes, the SRO officers have been reading rock stars lately.
Absolutely, yes. And I know my SRO loves to read to the kids all the time at school, so it must be really special for him to come around and see the kids, for sure. All right, a couple other things online that you might want to take a look at. We've got a slide for this one. It is Scholastics. You may be familiar with Scholastic. I bet you all probably have book fairs at your school. Those are all through Scholastic, and since you're not in school over the summer, Scholastic does a Read-a-Palooza, where you have the opportunity to go online. You can sign in and log your minutes there, which is exciting and fun. They always have fun stuff there. They have author videos, book trailers, all kinds of interesting things that you can do online there. Locally, our Books A Million is partnering actually with Dave Pilkey this year.
Yes.
Very exciting. I know there's some Dogman fans, right? I've got a ton at my school. There's some Captain Underpants fans that love his work. For the Books A Million, you don't really need to be online. There's a form there you can record some of the books you read over the summer, and you can take that to Books A Million, and they'll give you a little prize. So it is exciting when you're already reading over the summer to be able to take those minutes and those books you're reading and maybe get some extra bonus stuff out of it too.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. No, definitely not.
Well, we're going to move on to one of our favorite parts as librarians is we're going to read a book to you guys. And this book actually ties into our summer reading theme at Linebaugh, which is Imagine Your Story, like Ms. Shepherd already mentioned. We have a fairy tale with a twist today. So we're going to read to you Once Upon a Cool Motorcycle Dude.
Once Upon a Cool Motorcycle Dude?
Yeah, just stay with me for a minute, and I promise it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So this book was written and illustrated by the amazing Kevin O'Malley. So, Ms. Shepherd, are you ready for the cool motorcycle dude?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
Let's tackle it. Okay. For our library project, we were supposed to tell you our favorite fairy tale, but we couldn't agree on which story was the best. So we just made one up. I'll begin the story.
My beginning is better, but go ahead.
Once upon a time, in a castle on a hill, there lived a beautiful princess named Princess Tenderheart. Every day, Princess Tenderheart would play with her 8 beautiful ponies. She named them Jasmine, Nimble, Sophie, and Polly, and Penny, and Sunny, and Monica. Her favorite pony of all was called Buttercup.
Oh, please do not call him Buttercup. Call him Ralph or something.
One night, a terrible thing happened. A giant came and stole away poor little Jasmine. All the other ponies cried and cried, but Princess Tenderheart cried hardest of all. It was very sad.
Oh, please, get a grip, Princess.
The very next night, the giant came and took Nimble and Sophie. Princess Tenderheart cried all day and refused to eat. Her father, the king, hired all the princes he could find to protect the ponies. But night after night, another pony was stolen away. The poor princess just sat in her room and turned straw into gold thread. She cried and cried and cried. When only Buttercup was left, Princess Tenderheart thought her heart would break. Oh, who would protect Buttercup?
That is it. I can't take it anymore. I will tell the story from here. Dudes. One day, this really cool motorcycle dude rides up to the castle on his motorcycle. He says he'll guard the last pony if the king gives him all the gold thread that the princess makes. The king says it's okay, and the dude sits and waits for the giant.
As if he's not even cute or anything.
So, that night, the giant heads up to the castle. Man, this giant was an ugly dude. He was big and mean, and he had 4 teeth in his mouth that were all rotten and yellow and black. And his breath smelled like rotten, moldy, stinky, wet feet.
That's just gross.
He needs 8 ponies to make a tasty pony stew, and he only has 7. So that night, he goes to steal the last horsey. The muscle dude has this really big sword. The giant and the dude battled all over the place. The earth was shaking, and there was lightning and thunder, and volcanoes were exploding. It was huge.
Volcanoes? Where'd the volcanoes come from?
Night after night, the giant comes back, but the dude beats him. Night after night, the princess makes gold thread and gives it to the dude. He gets really rich. The end.
That's it? The princess just sits around making thread?
Yep.
I don't think so. I'll tell you what happened, Bubba. Princess Tenderheart goes to the gym and pumps iron. She becomes Princess Warrior. Very cool. She tells the dude to make his own thread. So that night, the princess has this huge and tremendous battle. The giant runs back to his cave. The end. And the dude just sits there making gold thread.
Nuh-uh. See, no, this is what really happened. The dude makes this really cool blanket out of the gold thread, and when he puts it over his head, he turns invisible. Then he goes to rescue the ponies. You can't see me. You can't see me.
You can't see us. The princess goes with him.
Ugh, fine.
The dude and the princess get into this big fight over who gets to free the ponies.
The giant hears voices and gets so scared, he jumps off the cliff.
Cool.
Cool.
So the princess and the prince fall in love.
Whoa, who said he was a prince? And what's this stuff about love?
They get married on a beautiful spring day, and then they have a baby. It was the most beautiful baby girl.
Nuh-uh. It was a boy.
It was a girl.
The
end. Oh, I love that book. That was so much fun.
So a cool thing that you can do once you've read a book like this is you can maybe even try to write your own fairy tale, and you can write it with another author, and you guys can go back and forth just like Kevin O'Malley did in today's Read Aloud.
Absolutely. I love telling my kids, I'm like, you don't like the way the story goes?
write your own ending.
Write your own ending. Love it. What a cute book. I love it.
Miss Shepherd,
Yes, this counts.
we are about to start my favorite part of being a librarian,
What's that?
book talks.
Book talks. I love doing that too. One of my favorites. We have so many favorites.
Yes,
But this,
that's
getting
true.
to talk about books, it's almost like dessert.
It is.
It is.
So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I would love to start. Let's see. I'm going to start with a chapter book series that is one of my students' favorites. This is The Wings of Fire. This chapter book series, we can't keep it on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's all about adventure and magic and dragons. They're up to like 12 or 13 books in the series right now. And again, my kids cannot get enough of it. So it's a great thing maybe to start a chapter book series this summer when you've got the time. You can read your way through. Another bonus of the Wings of Fire series, they're turning them into graphic novels as well. Also flying off the shelves.
Yes.
The graphic novel series, we're up to book 3 in this series. So it's kind of interesting, especially if you've been reading the chapter books, to see how the graphic novels compare as far as that story goes. But very popular, definitely a winner with the boys and the girls over at my school.
Awesome.
How about you?
I'm going to start with one of my favorite new picture books that has come out recently. This is called Pluto Gets the Call. Now, I don't know about everyone watching, Miss Shepherd, but when I was a little kid, Pluto was a planet.
Pluto was a planet.
Yeah, I'm old, sorry. But unfortunately in this book, Pluto gets a phone call. And Pluto finds out that he's not actually a planet anymore.
He must have been devastated.
There's lots of emotions in this book.
Oh my goodness.
He, first of all, is understandably upset, but then he gets a new job. He gets to give us a tour of the solar system. And the thing I love about this book is that there's lots of speech bubbles. So it's kind of got some graphic novel stuff going on, but you also learn lots of really cool things about the solar system. So this is one of my favorite new picture books.
Those illustrations look familiar. Do I know that illustrator?
I think you do. Do you know a book called Potato Pants?
I do know a book called Potato Pants.
Miss
My
Laurie
music
Keller.
teacher loves Potato Pants.
Oh.
Laurie Keller.
Yes,
Yeah.
another awesome one.
Oh, and Adam Rex is the author.
Yes.
That is so awesome. Well, if you're sharing a picture book, I guess I better share a picture book too. Let's see. Oh, some of you parents out there might know the author of this book, Jimmy Kimmel, and you're thinking, Jimmy Kimmel, but he's not an author. But he is very funny and apparently a really good picture book author. This is The Serious Goose. In this book, as you can see, the goose is very serious. And if you are a fan of books like The Book with No Pictures, you will love when an adult reads this book to you, because your mission is to see if you can make this goose smile, to make this goose laugh, to do something to make it more of a silly goose rather than a serious goose. So much fun.
I'm going to move on to this one. This is Give Bees a Chance by one of my favorite nonfiction authors, Bethany Barton. She's also written about giving spiders a chance, and my favorite, giving math a chance, because sometimes that can be hard.
True.
So I don't know about you, but I've seen lots of carpenter bees out on my balcony this summer. And it's easy to be like, oh, those bees are so annoying. I wish they'd go away. But there's some really cool things about bees. So let me tell you a couple of things about bees. Fact number 1, did you know that honeybees have hair on their eyes?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Bethany Barton said so.
Oh,
It's true.
well.
Number 2, bees sometimes communicate by dancing.
I did know that. I think I had a first grader tell me that this year. They were studying some bees.
I had a second grader tell me that because they read a book called Bee Dance.
Very cool.
And last but not least, the average queen bee can lay up to 2,000 eggs in one day. Crazy.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So you get nonfiction and you get some humor, which is the best way to read nonfiction in my personal opinion. This is awesome for grades K and up. Everyone will love this book. So check out Give Bees a Chance.
Very awesome. All right, I'm going to go with this one right here. Nathan Hale, one of my favorite authors.
Gotta love Nathan Hale.
I've been very fortunate to meet him a few times. He even did an author visit at our school a few years ago, and once he did, the kids were hooked on his books. They're hooked on his books because they are graphic novels. Again, flying off the shelves. They are funny, they are full of facts, and this is his newest one, Major Impossible. There's a little bit of a Tennessee connection in this one, so you may want to take a look at that. Again, another great way to get into reading, to learn something, and like we said before, graphic novels are real reading. Mm-hmm. A graphic novel won the Newbery this year.
Yes.
So yes, very exciting. Love that.
I'm going to go with one of my favorite nonfiction authors. Her name is Georgia Bragg. She always teams up with Kevin O'Malley, which we saw earlier today in our read aloud. Georgia Bragg finds the coolest stories about people who may not have made the best choices. And this one is about people who have been caught doing something probably not so smart. Jesse James, John Wilkes Booth. And this is another one where we have funny nonfiction. This is great for kids 4th grade and up. I love to sit and read this book myself, and I'm way older than 4th grade. The cool thing about this book is you get some facts mixed in with humor, and there's also lots of illustrations along the way. So if you like to read about people who maybe made some mistakes along the way, just like we all do, check out Caught by Georgia Bragg.
I'm going to play off of your biography spin there with a great series that we have in our library. Do you have this series in your library?
We have lots of them.
Do your kids call it the Big Head series?
Sometimes they call it
the Big Head series.
The Bobblehead Series.
The Bobblehead. Oh, that's a new one. I have not heard that.
Because they look like the bobbleheads.
They do look a bit like the bobbleheads. This one happens to be Who Was Milton Hershey. This series has exploded. Mm-hmm. There's got to be probably close to 100 different ones.
At least.
Mostly Who Was, sometimes Who Is, and their illustrated characteristic here would be the giant head on the front. These aren't super thick books. I would recommend them for any kid, probably I would say even 2nd grade and up. Mm-hmm. There's illustrations all throughout. So if you want to get to know a person like this, that would be great. They also have a What Is series that talks about different places all over the planet. They also have a Where Is, mm-hmm. What Was. They talk about different times in history. So yeah, once you start reading these and you get to know them, I think you're going to love them. And I do have at least 1 or 2 kids that are like, I'm going to read all of them.
Yes.
And so they try to challenge themselves to do that. So look for these amazing biography books.
And to go with the books, there is a show on Netflix.
There is.
Yes, and it is awesome. I've watched quite a few of them. So if you have Netflix, watch the show and then read the book that goes along with it, and that'll be an awesome pairing for you. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to go with some science. I know a lot of you guys out there like to make slime. Do you like to make slime?
My daughter likes to make slime.
Sweet. So these are all hands-on experiments using a mason jar. So a lot of you guys have mason jars laying around your house. All of these experiments can be done in a mason jar, so it doesn't take a lot of room. It also can be done with lots of things you already have around the house or things that are really easy to get a hold of. My favorite section in here, besides the slime section, because hello, slime, is the weather experiment section. So definitely check out mason jar science. It's really, really easy to follow the steps. So I think you will really enjoy it. And any science experiment book would probably be a good pick for this summer.
I brought some books kind of like that. We have this one I pulled up. I have several of these duct tape books in the library. This one happens to be duct tape fashion. You can make all sorts of things out of duct tape. Summertime is a great time to get into stuff like that, to get into the science experiments, to get into being creative. Here's an example right here. The pictures are fantastic, step by step, and all you really need is a roll of duct tape. And duct tape is coming in some pretty cool patterns these days, so there's all kinds of interesting things you can do with that. I bet somewhere out there we have some people who have been baking and cooking and getting into the kitchen more. It's a great way to practice your instruction reading and your measurements. This one is unicorn food.
You've had me at unicorn.
Right?
I'm done.
Here we go. Check this out. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, I couldn't wait to eat that. So,
Can I borrow that book today?
you know what? Here you go.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay.
Did you have some chapter books you wanted to talk
I do.
about?
I
real quick?
have, so I don't know about you guys, but at Hobgood, my kids cannot get enough scary books. Does not matter the time of year, they want scary books. So I have a scary book that I have not seen basically all year because it's been checked out all year. This is a classic ghost tale. This is called The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. And it has more than just a ghost story to it. It has a little bit more depth to it, which you'll figure out when you get into it. But R.L. Stine himself, the man,
The Goosebumps author.
the Goosebumps author, told us that this book gave him chills more than once. So, if you think you can handle it, I suggest this for probably grades 4 and up. And it is just fantastic. A lot of you guys probably saw this at the Scholastic Book Fair maybe last fall.
I think so. Last year.
But if you didn't get a chance to snag it at the book fair, check out a copy. It is very, very goosebumpy and chilly.
Awesome. Very cool.
What do you have next?
Oh, let's see. I know we're getting close to being finished. I got to share this one. This is a brand new book called Don't Feed the Coos. It's by Jonathan Stutzman, and it is illustrated by Heather Fox, and it is hilarious. Any of you who have ever fed a pigeon understand that there's usually not just one of them. There's usually a lot of them. And once you've fed them, they're your best friend forever. So this book is all about what happens when a little girl does not listen to directions and feeds the coos anyway. And, well, some things happen. I can't tell you, spoiler alert, but it is very funny. And you will find out by the end of the book whether or not she's able to get rid of the coos or not.
I want to share one more book. And this book holds a special place in my heart because a lot of people come to me and say, you know what? I don't like to read. If you think you don't like to read, I want you to try My Life as a Book. If you've read The Wimpy Kids, and if you just are done, I want you to try this one. It's the first in a series. The 14-year-old son of the author he made the illustrations, and it is awesome. And I promise, if you didn't like to read before you started this book, you might just like to read afterwards.
I have a few students hooked on this series. It's not just My Life as a Book. There's things like My Life as a YouTuber, My Life as a video gamer. So, there's a lot of really good stuff there.
I can't believe it, Ms. Shepherd, but I think it's already time for us to stop.
But we could keep talking about books.
I know. I'm so sorry. Let's think about what we just talked about, though.
Okay.
There's a lot that just happened here. So we talked about the Linebaugh Library, how you can sign up online.
Yes, for an e-card. You can also sign up online for their reading program.
Yes.
If you have a library card, you could do all of those things already. Just check that number on the back, and it's not a big deal. You can stop by Linebaugh and pick up a summer reading packet if that's something you're interested in.
There's also programs going on at Books A Million and Scholastic. Where's another place we can get books here in town?
Oh, we can get books at our little free libraries at all of the schools. Very exciting. And those awesome guys traveling around with the chow buses, our SRO officers, have books to offer with those as well.
Keep reading. Bye.